Yo, what's going on, guys? Ron here, aka Neos, and today, guys, as you can see by the title, we are talking about the future of Elfnotes. Blazing Dominion is pretty close around the corner. I've been doing quite a bit of testing on it. You might have seen some of the stuff online for it, but I am bringing y'all a version of Elfnotes today that is going to be post Blazing Dominion that I think will arguably be the best version that you can just play, period. There are arguments for other versions of the deck, but the way that this deck is going to be able to play around Charmies for the most part, play into boards, play going first, play around hand traps like Harmonia, which is going to be one of the new synchro hand trap that we're going to be getting. And then just being able to also like push through boards, not necessarily being able to like break them, but being able to keep going through disruption is going to be very important, right? So anyways, guys, before we get started, you already know, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell down below, that way you know when I post more content. And let's go ahead and get right into this, guys. Let's pull up the deck list right here. So y'all have seen on the channel before me talk about how you can play branded in the Elfnote strategy, but I thought it was kind of bad. Just that it felt clunky, right? Blazing Dominion's gonna fix this a lot, right? Mainly because of Harmonia. Harmonia is gonna make it's gonna be a huge deal, right? Because you're gonna get the opportunity here, to play do some really broken stuff, right? So this is a generic Synchro 12, right? That requires one level 4 tuner plus one or more non-tuner monsters. So you can make this with the Power Patron because you can make it a level 4, right? Which means you can make an 8, for example, either one of these. Like you would probably do with Omega. You could make Omega, take the Power Patron, either make it 4 or make this 11. And then synchro it off, and then you could put this and something else back on the deck after you synchro to make this. And it just gives you utility because once per turn, if a card or cards leaves the extra deck except during the damage step, you can make all monsters you currently control gain attack 500 attack permanently, and then you can negate the effects of one face-up card on the field until the end of this turn, right? So really good, right? Boosting your opponent, your attack points, giving you access to a negate. All this is really good. It also has the effect that during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon one light spellcaster monster from your hand or deck whose graveyard or whose attack equals its own defense. And then you can use each effect. You can only use this effect once per turn. So each effect, all of its effects are once per turn. I don't know why they broke it down into two separate spots, but that's fine. The thing is that Ecclesia is a a quick effect. Also, it's a light spellcaster mainly that's its attack equals its own defense, but it has the effect that during the main phase, you can quick effect, tribute it to summon a Sword Soul monster or Fallen of Albaz from your hand or deck. And then during the end phase, if a fusion or a monster or monsters is sent to the graveyard, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand, right? So what you can do is you can Harmonia reveal itself plus 5 synchro monsters, right? You can reveal any 5, it doesn't matter, and then including this one, and then you get all of its effects, right? So Harmonia, when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, quick effect, you can reveal this card and up to 5 synchro monsters in the extra deck. Apply these effects in sequence based on the turn revealed. You cannot activate the effects of special summon monsters until the end of your next turn, except synchro monsters. So if you do 2, you can special summon this. If you do 4 or more, you get to send one of the revealed synchros, and then if you do 6, which it would be the 5 synchros and then including itself, you can destroy a monster your opponent controls, right? So you would reveal this turn 0, right? Your opponent is playing the game, and they do this. And you have this in hand. You go effect, reveal this, and then the 5, whatever you want, including the Lulu. You go summon this, pop a card, And then during your opponent's end phase, you can special summon Ecclesia, right? Which means that now that you get her out of the deck, right? Because you don't really want to draw this card. You like drawing any of these is okay. Drawing Albaz is obviously bad, but drawing either one of these is fine. They're just not. They're not a good starter. They're like a good extender, right? That they're like they stop all your Elfnote stuff you can't play anymore, and you just like activate Fall on the White Dragon. But this sets you up with a level 4 tuner at the start, right? Which means that you can like threaten by like summoning any name and threatening like a Synchro 10 immediately. And then also you can go main phase, use its effect to summon like OG Albaz or like Fall of the White Dragon, either one. And then you can threaten things like Exciton Knight or Ecclesia. Just threatening Albaz like right off the rip is pretty strong. And then you're also gonna have Harmonia, which is a level 7 tuner, which means like you can make stuff that's like either a level 10 or you could make stuff that's like 11 or because you have 4s in here, but we're not playing anything like that. Like there are 11s that you can make, like Star Eater or something like that. You can make the tower that the punks play, but that's not really worth it either. You don't have a lot of space because you have a lot of utility options here that you kind of want to play. You can cut like SP, right? But et cetera, et cetera. The point of the matter is that the Fallen engine is broken because you can play things like Fallen the Virtuous. You can dump things like Dogma, Rembrum, Albion, right? Like Rembrum's just a quick effect to special summon, Albaz, right? Well, this card's in your graveyard, quick effect. Target a Fallen of Albaz in your graveyard, special summon it, either that monster or this card, and then banish the other, right? So, you can just do this, and it's really good because you get to loop Albaz with not only it but also the synchro, right? So if they remove the synchro, you can like put Brim Engrave and then do this anyways, and then you make like Mirror Jade, and then you still play like I said Dogma and Albion, which means that you can also play like Dogma fuse with Albaz, and then assuming that your opponent has a light or dark monster, you can just eat 2 of their monsters, right? Which is it's just crazy potential, right? Especially going second, like the people have been talking about like Elfnote struggles going second, and I agree for the most part, but the counterbalance of that is the amount of non-engine you normally play to like cripple your opponent's board. And then obviously I also mentioned like Fiendsmith stuff, right? Like playing the Fiendsmiths, like those help you break boards. Stuff like Chaos Angel, Desiree, even like making DDD can be like a breaker because it turns off your opponent's stuff or just threatens something that can do it. So your opponent like has to interact with you, right? We're also playing Black Rose, right? So if you notice, like in the here we have like Destruction. This is removal. This is something else that you can dump off of Harmonia. You can also make this because it's a 6, but like that's not. It's probably not gonna come up. But its main thing is like it gets sent to the graveyard. You bounce a card your opponent controls, right? If this card's sent to the graveyard, target a face-up card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Like decent removal, right? Stuff that you can, monsters. Like continuous spells and traps. Mainly, I would say traps would be like your main thing there, or like field spells, could be an option, but like it depends, right? Because this is a quick effect, right? Whenever your opponent activates, so if they activate something in like end phase, right, and then like they activate a monster on the field, you can trigger this, send this, bounce something that they can't put back or whatever the case might be. But yeah, that's about it for the not Dogmatica, but like Fallen of Albaz part of the engine, which if you notice, we were playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards, which is less than what we were playing in the Fiendsmith stuff, and I put in a pretty big package. You do not need to play Rembrum. I would play these 3 for sure, but you want something that Mirror Jade can send, and like being able to like Mirror Jade, send this, and then like you can use like Omega to put back like the fusions. You can like Omega put back like Dogma plus itself, and then you go Rimbrum, go target Albaz, summon Albaz, fuse, and then you have like Mirror Jade plus like Dogma. And then, this is 2 like 3,000 attack. You play both Ecclesias, which means you can make this a tower. Like there's just like, I could keep talking about this, but it's just like, it's just insane, right? We'll just leave it at that. It's insane, right? Let's talk about the Elfnote part of this deck now, right? So we are getting probably like the best support that you could possibly get besides like the new stuff that's been announced, which I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. Regina can be treated as a pseudo hand trap, but her main thing is she's like your just best extender, and like she can dodge like targeted negation, right? This card is just broken overall. Like if you go to like special summon Lucinia, and then you go like that's fine. You go like Lucinia, and they go Imperm, Valor, even if it's like Ash Blossom, right? You can just like chain Regina and just like send her to the graveyard for cost, which means like even if they negate Regina, like if they have like Imperm or Valor, you can just guarantee that this resolves. And then even if obviously they need like a special summon negate, which would have to be like Dominus Impulse, then you summon this, and then this can summon any Elfnote from the deck. So like quick effect, send another Elfnote card from your hand or face up field to the graveyard, special summon this from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon to the center main monster zone, also normal summon is quite key there, because that means she can actually be a tribute normal. Like if you have her in hand and you go like summon any of the girls and they get stopped, she's actually full combo. Because you can tribute normal her, summon her to the center, and like special power Patron. It's insane. You can special summon one Elfnote monster from your deck, except herself. If this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchromancer, you can add this card back to your hand. You can use each effect once per turn. So she recurs herself. She's an extender. She can be a starter. So she's consistency. She can make you dodge like negation that's targeted. She can do like some really crazy things. Like I had a game like where I went like Regina, send the welcome home. And then I had hard drawn the shadow, and then I went like summon her, used her effect, and then I chained this guy, which he has an effect in the pendulum zone that when a Elfnote or Power Patron is special summoned to your field while this card's in the pendulum zone, you can destroy this card. If you do, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. And then its monster effect is that if this card is added to the extra deck face up, you can target a power. You can add a Power Patron or Elfnote card from your extra deck or graveyard, except itself, to the hand. Which means like I was like Regina, send this, summoned her, used his effect, to chain block her, popped it, drew 2, discarded 1, summoned like an Elfnote, and then used his effect to add back the welcome home that I sent off of Regina, reactivated it, and continued my game from there, right? So I just got like free infinite advantage. And then I synchroed with her. She chain blocked the Power Patron to add herself back. I added her back to hand, and then like on my opponent's turn, I resent the welcome home that I had brought back to my hand to summon her, which summoned Tinia and ripped my opponent's hand in draw phase. Like this deck is insane. Like it's super broken. All right, I was talking about this deck like before all this, before we're getting Regina, before we're getting this, and the deck is still like really good, right? I'm beating like full power branded Draco Tail players. The only competition that this deck's gonna have is like Cool Tune, because Cool Tune just plays like an insane amount of non-engine. They have broken effects where like when they get synchroed and sent to grave, they have like pops, bounces, ripping cards out of the extra deck, a bunch of different effects. They're like the yummies, but they don't have to make it back to the field. They just hit the grave, which is arguably better. Like it's gonna be better than yummy. Where like for example, like with Cool Tune, when you go like they go like normal summon Q and you imperm it. Like if it's Cupsy, right? Like they go like normal Cupsy and they're like effect, and you imperm it. They're like, yeah, cool, right? I'm gonna make like Link 1. And then but you get a chance to kind of like interact with the Link 1, right, to put something on the field, or like they have to get another body in order to synchro. That's not the case with Cool Tune. They go like normal summon Q, effect, imperm. Cool, bro. Synchro from hand with like driver, or like not driver, but like a side frame card, like Delta, or another name, or like a hand trap, like Valor, or Bell, or Fua, or not Fua, but Ash Blossom, right? You can do it with the power patrons too, like because these are tuners, so like you can like synchro them off. Like you can synchro like Q with Patron, summon it, go like Chain Link 1, the effect of the Track Maker because it's a 4. Chain Link 2, Power Patron. Chain Link 3, whoever, right? We can say like what it's like Q, right? I say Q to do whatever Q does, right? So like, don't worry, I'll be bringing y'all an Elfnote version of Cool Tune as well, because that deck's also going to be crazy. But yeah, like I said, there's just infinite possibilities with this deck. It's going to be very powerful. This, like I said, is probably going to be the best version because it does its own thing where like Cool Tune is going to fight you because they're like, we only want to make tuner monsters. Which that's not what this deck does. It doesn't really revolve around like the tuner only thing. Like if you look here, like all these synchros are not tuners except for this one, and you're not making this one. But it is an option. And then like, non-engine here we have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So you have literally, if you look at this, like you have one less non-engine than I did in the Fiendsmith version. And then like we traded it in for a card that says draw 2, discard 1. We literally traded it in for what is this? Like I wouldn't even count this as like a neg card. Something like I'm trying to think of the quick play, like Visions, right? I'm trying to think of a card that draws 2, discards 1. I can't off the top of my head. But the thing is like this card says draw 2, discard 1, add card from graveyard. Like, that's pretty good, right? Like it just says +2 on it for the most part. And like you're gonna discard stuff to the graveyard that's like, like Medius. Like you can discard Medius to graveyard. Theo realize the graveyard, which doesn't matter as much, but still changing attributes can be good. You can discard things like Fallen of Albaz, right? Like it lets you play around like these more bricky cards, right? Like cards that maybe you don't want to see. You can, discard that kind of stuff. You can discard like Fulalos, right? You have like extra Fulaloses that you drew going first or even going second. Like this card could be really good going second because it just lets you dig into the deck for like engine. And then yeah, and like I said, it adds itself to the extra deck. This also just says that like if it's on the field, you can banish the top 3 cards of your deck, destroy this card, and if you do, special summon the Genora Power Patron of Tuning, which is the big Elfnote guy. This guy. But like this card's cool, but you don't really need to do it. Like it's just like extra. It's like it's a big guy. That's cool, but like this card's not that good. So like I don't even play him because like I actually substitute him out for Exciton, because that's what I had in here originally, and like Exciton is just better because that means like you can make 2 4s and then you can just be like wah and just clear an entire board. And then if they stop Exciton Knight, you just do you go like summon Lucina, put Patron on field, summon Black Rose, and blow the board anyways. Like they just can't stop you. You play like 2 blowout cards. You play this that removes stuff. I have Droll in here, and then because like just stopping your opponent from playing the game is good. But you also have like Fallen the Virtuous, right, where you can dump things like Rimbrum, Albion, Dogma. There's other things that you can do, like there's Spriggans, Spring, the Fusion guy. Where is he? There he is. This guy just like during the end phase you can special summon an Albaz, which is like cool. Yeah, because it's or Springans as well, but because it would during the end phase of this card was sent to the graveyard in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn. You can add to your hand or special summon Ace Brigands or Fallen of Albaz from your deck. Like, so you can play this as well instead of like Rembrum. That way you can like dump it and then end phase summon Albaz, and then do it that way. But you don't really need to do that. I don't think it's needed. I prefer this stuff, right? Because you get like more setup and more value. So, yeah. And then for the side deck here, there's not really anything special about this. It's just kind of I just put it together. You can change this around. You can play different non-engine. I would recommend playing the Harmonia though, because even though it synchro locks you, like you're just gonna be like following the virtuousing people, and then you can just make the Ecclesia synchro. Like you don't have to fuse. And then it does say until the end of your next turn, which means like you can still fuse on your opponent's turn. So you can like go second, right? Break their board. Let's say like and you Harmonia them, right? You go like Harmonia dump like the Lulu, right? And then you go like Ecclesia, right? And then you do this stuff, right? You can't Exciton because like you're blocked from that, but you can still synchro. You can like synchro into the Ecclesia, and then make your other synchros like Crystal Wing, Black Rose if you have to as well, right? Because you have access to your tuners, and then you just like clear as much from the board as you can, and then like turn 3. You can go like Ecclesia, summon Fallen of Albaz, discard a card, which by the way, free discard from like Regina. If you have like extras of her, or you don't want to like summon to hand rip, or whatever the case might be, or like your extra draws off of Power Patron. Well, this is Shadow Spirit, I should say, and then like I said, and then you can fuse then, right? Because it says to the end of your next turn, right? So yeah, like you can get around it anyways. You can, and then like for example, right? Like you do that, and then you can make Dogma. Dogma's a tower because you're gonna have Ecclesia engrave at that point. So yeah, it's really strong. Or you just make Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade's pretty good because you can just make Mirror Jade, and then you get access to Fallen the Virtuous, guaranteed. Because even if they stop your Mirror Jade, you just dump the Dogma, right? You can just dump Dogma, and it's fine, right? Like it's super dumb. Obviously, Mirror Jade's a boss in of itself. If your opponent just touches this card and it gets removed, it just says, I'm gonna blow up all your shit. There's another board breaker, right? So this breaks the board, 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 this technically breaks the board, this breaks the board, right? Like, there are 7 things in your extra that break boards. This says your opponent can't make a board. This says remove stuff off the board. This says negate something on the board. Yeah, like, I could keep talking about all this stuff, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it how it is. I really do hope that y'all enjoyed. I hope I explained a lot of this to y'all, that y'all can understand it. I know I do talk really fast, and if that's the case, I do apologize. I just get excited, like, just all this stuff is very exciting to me. So if I say something too fast, like, just go back to the video, I guess, and just slow me down, because I will just beeline verbiage at y'all, because like in here is like 7,000 miles an hour, and so yeah, if that's the case, like I said, I do apologize. So, oh, one more thing, this is a spellcaster. This is a spellcaster. It works with Secret Village. So even if you like go like second or go first, and all you see is like Albaz engine and this, you can still floodgate your opponent. So keep that in mind. And then as soon as they threaten this, you can just Ecclesia, summon Albaz, and then, make Mirror Jade or whatever. So, again, that's going to be it, guys. I really do hope that y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, please, down below, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way you know when I post more content, and it helps out the channel. And I will catch y'all guys in the next video. Peace.